is going on, YouTube? We are live here yet again on another live stream. Today we're going to be attempting to plumb, well, both of these. And I'm only going to be doing probably a soft test right now. I'm missing one key piece that's not here yet, but I want to kind of align everything, make sure it's going to work, and then from there we'll figure it out. But what I do need to test today is the pump. I bought this pump off Amazon. Not sure if it's gonna work. It's, what is the brand here? Kedsum is the brand. Kedsum, and it's a 250 liter per hour hydroponics pump. I don't know what that is. Gallons. I think it's like 400 gallons. 40 watt. 550 gallons. So we're gonna see if this works. What's going on, JW? What's up, Big Easy? So we're gonna see if that works. I got the tubing for that. I got the CO2 reactor too that I'm gonna be installing, which I'll show you guys. It's probably something that you may have not seen before. I mean, a lot of people know about it, I guess, but not everybody has seen it before. I always get questions of asked how I'm gonna be doing CO2 on these tanks. I'm gonna show you. So yeah. So first things first, I guess I'm going to try and see how this pump is going to work down here. So I'm going to have to fill up the bottom tank, but first I'm going to dry fit everything and see how it all fits together and clamp it down, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm just going to, because we're going to be working down there. Stan looks great, thank you, I appreciate it. Congrats on the new tanks. Thank you, thank you. Gonna do a giveaway at 350 subscribers. Nice. Yeah, so perfect timing. Just got done rescaping. Nice, Brad. So yeah, so this pump is gonna go down here. It's actually probably gonna face like this, or it's gonna be ran back there. Right? We're gonna run the tubing up, but the tubing is gonna go into this guy right here. So this is called a Greg Ricks reactor. It's designed so the water flows in from the tap, pours down, comes out the bottom, and goes up to the top tank. And this little nozzle right here is going to be for the CO2. Let me just make sure you guys can see that because it's black. Pump water out tank, or air pump. Well, I'm using that's a water pump for a pond. So we're going to see how this all works. What I do need to grab, give me 1 second. So I have a couple fittings over here. So basically there's going to be another part that connects onto here, but this is going to be the part that goes onto the tank like this. Let me show you guys. It's going to sit like this, so it's going to pour out of here. On here I'm going to do a DIY spray bar. So on here the water's going to come out, spray into the tank, and then this will be on the outside of the tank, and this is going to connect into the tubing that I have here. I'm hoping that everything aligns because the barbs on this look very, very good, but the barbs on the pump are slightly off. So I think it'll fit though. I think it's just once I connect it with the clamps, they'll be alright. So what do I need for this? I do need a screwdriver, so I'm going to grab that. So I got 3 clamps. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. I need one more, which I should have. Give me, what's up, Jeremy? Yeah, guys, give me 1 second. I need to get some hot water. So if you didn't know, an easy way to get tubing to attach to your connections is hot water. So I'm going to fill this up with hot water real quick. Okay, so I got some hot water now. Got that. Let's see. What's up, creatures? Don't forget to hit that like button on your way in. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pond pump. Yep, pond pump. Let's see. Alright, here we go. Got the rest of them. I knew it came with them, but I forgot if where they put them. So they're in that bag. So, first things first. Let me remove the tags to this stuff. Did you make the rig? What are you using inside? So I'm not using anything inside. It is mainly just for CO2 dissolution. It's not going to be a means of filtration. Although I could add bioballs. They also say if you add bioballs, sometimes that helps. I think they break up the CO2 better. So yeah, what we're going to do is move this out of the way first. Okay, so stick this over this end. Let's get a close up on this. So, got this, I'm sticking that over here. What I'm gonna do is take the agua. Power cord is gonna want to drag that thing down. Alright. I'll stick this in the hot water for a couple seconds. Let it heat up. Then I should be able to get it over this one. Unscrew this and do it just the piece. This is probably easier. Hold on. Need that boiling water. This should still work. I've done it with just scalding hot water before. Alright, there we go. I haven't done it with braided before. This is first time using braided hosing. But if you ever do use any sort of hosing for your aquarium filtration, braided is the way to go if you're going hosing. Now I'm just gonna let it get a little loose in here. It's almost down. Keep it submerged for another few seconds. Yeah, it's fine. It went on. It doesn't need to be boiling. It's just it's really hot. My water heater's set to the highest temperature, so yeah. And that's not good. Just made myself soaked, but I almost got this. Alright, that's good enough for the dry run. If I have to adjust it later on, I will. Alright, I just need to grab myself a screwdriver real quick. 1 second. Okay. So now I actually have to loosen this a bit to get it over this. And the trick is you can't over tighten these because it'll crack the plastic on this. So I'm just going to do it just enough to where I think it's pretty solid. Okay, I don't think that's coming off. So let's see. Quick away. Okay. So now that the pump is good, let's see. About like that. And now this has got to. What's up, FPS Aquatics? So this is going to mount. Where did I say I was going to put this? This was going to go on this side. And then where was it going to go? Here. Hold on. Forget where I was going to mount the other ones. I guess one will go here. Right. Actually, I could probably do two on this. I can mount the right here. Yeah, I can mount it up here. Further down, I guess. Mount to here, flow up to here, come back down, and into the tank. And then I can put the other one below this one, I guess. So if I do that one, then it's that, that's that, that's that, that's not gonna work. Or, there's really no space for it on the side. How do I want to do this? Or I can always do it on the inside here. That'll look weird. That won't look right. They have to be mounted upright, so it only leaves me for a couple different options. I can mount it here, assuming that it has enough head pressure to push it up to here, and down and out and over. But then if I do that on that one, right? Actually, that's the only one that I'll have to double up. Is the middle one. Yeah, I could put it. I'll just put this wherever, and then I'll double up on the other one. So let's do it about here. So we'll do it about here. So I need to take this thing off so I could fasten this to it. So what I'm using here is actually an electrical piece of material. It's called a Maywest. That will keep CO2 throughout both tanks. Well, no, so this is per tank. So I have to do this per tank setup. But what's good about it is, so it's gonna fill the 2 tanks. If you're talking about these 2, yes, this will take care of both. The way it's gonna work is the CO2 is gonna get pumped into the top tank. The top tank is gonna be where all the more high-tech stuff is, the carpeting plants and all that, so they grow really fast. Bottom tank is gonna be a holding tank for a lot of the plants like Anubis and stuff that I just bring in that I don't necessarily need to grow super fast. So it may have a little bit less CO2 at the bottom, but as it comes back up to the top tank will get a new dosage of CO2. So it's going to get pushed over across the tank, and then it's going to pour into the overflow, come down, pour into the bottom tank. The bottom tanks will use whatever CO2, and then back up to the top tank. It should, in theory, work, but that is why I'm testing it to see. I do think it'll be fine though. I just need to get some screws real quick. I need give me one moment. Very not prepared for this, as you can see, but we're getting there. Okay. So. Oh yeah, I got your email, Life. I planned on emailing you. I just haven't gotten around to it. Been very busy, but I will email you back. Our drop pond pump in the water. Well, the pond pump's in the water right now. I mean, there's no water in there, but it's in the tank. Where did that? Oh, it's actually in the other drill. Here's this. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it down here. Alright. So now I'm gonna bring you guys closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay. So there's how it's gonna sit for right now. Got the opening up here, the bottom up here, and this is gonna go back up to the top. So hopefully I have enough tubing for this. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to estimate this out here. So it should be right about here is where I need it. Let me just double check before I cut it. Extra just in case I need to make some modifications. Okay. So now what I gotta do is I'm gonna have to soak this in water. I may have to take the black piece out again and get this down to try and get this to stick to it. Probably actually gonna need to do that. Let's see if I can get it this way. I doubt it though. Going on pretty easily. Get your ladies' hairdryer will work better. Yeah, I think it's fine. It goes on pretty easily. It's not too hard. I'll have to bring the hairdryer down here just to straighten out the tubing and check it. But all in all, it should be alright. So. Alright, now. Bend the tubing the opposite way to get up the massive curve it has. So now let's see, it's going to go from down there, still needs to be stretched out here. Should be good enough to test. I'll just get another clamp here. So, I got some PVC or some plumber's tape. I don't know if you have to actually tape threads on PVC, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Just so that way the threads, in case they there's a little room there. I don't want it to leak. Any plumbing joined by threads gets taped. Alright, good to know, so I am doing it right. Okay. That's good. This is, like I said, just a test fit, so I'll go back through and tighten this back up when I know it's going to actually work, because I don't know if this pump is actually going to work, so we'll see. I'm actually debating on redoing this reactor, because these I ordered from somebody. But I'm debating on redoing them and just hard piping the whole thing. So basically I'll just run flex from the pump into an actual pipe, and then pipe the hard pipe up rather than using a flex tube. But we'll have to see. Alright, so now run this down here. Get an idea for how much I need. Clamp. I know you guys really can't see what I'm doing down here, but it's the same process as the top one. This one's going to give me a little bit of a problem. If I just put a little water on there, it'll slide on. Nope. There. This isn't really that warm anymore. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Okay. Alrighty, so now that that's all connected, I'm going to fill the bottom tank up with water now. We'll see how this thing works. So give me just a second, let me grab the Python. Okay, so we're gonna let that fill up about halfway, and then I'll give it a go and see how it flows. While that fills up, I'm just gonna connect something to the little airline tubing spot there, just so that way water doesn't come out. So give me 1 second, let me grab those. I do want to test if water comes out. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a check valve, but this check valve should stop the water from flowing into it. So I'm just putting this so I can monitor to see if there's any kind of flow that comes out of it during while the CO2 is on, or while the CO2 is off and the pump is running. It's just good to know if it has the capabilities, because the way it's designed, it theoretically shouldn't, unless that tube is completely filled with water, which I don't think it's going to. So basically I just have airline tubing with a check valve. I have CO2 tubing, but I actually want to see if this fills with water. It'll be a good indication. So yeah. So now it gets to some of the questions. I always forgot to put the damn hose clamp on first. Yeah, that's always the issue. Do you plan on painting the back? So what I'm actually thinking about doing is ordering the tint, the window tint that most people use for like their cars. They have it in like a frosted white. Joey, the king of DIY, he's done in several of his videos. Pretty cheap background. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because it gives it a nice backdrop. Because keep in mind, these tanks, or at least the top ones, are going to mainly be, or a big focus of them is to be able to take nice photographs of the plants and all that, and create content. So I want it to look nice from the background. So I think I'm going to do the frosted backgrounds on all of the top tanks. The bottom tanks I'm not sure about. I don't really know if I'm going to do it on that. Just because they're kind of more of just holding tanks for a lot of plants, not necessarily like grow out and kind of scaping the tanks. But I was going to paint them, and then I just looked at them like, well, if I don't like the color or I don't like how it looks, if I paint it and then go to remove it, it's going to be a bit of an issue. So I think it's best left not painted and using the removable tint. White shows algae a lot. Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, that's just not something that I could cure. But I will have narite snails in each one of these, and narites keep the glass pretty damn clean. I have to say, the one tank that I have 4 narite snails in, the glass is literally clear. I've done very little scraping on it. The other tanks that are the similar setup that don't have narite snails, though, I'm constantly in there cleaning the algae. This actually does not look level, so I'm going to have to level out this. I think this shims got messed up when I was pulling these racks out to do stuff the other day. So let's see what else. And then also on this top tank, I actually haven't silicone that in place yet. I was playing around with it. Has anybody here used the Herbie overflow? Because what I'm running into with this is, let me show you guys. So I purposely did not align these because I thought I would be better for this, but I guess I did it the incorrect way, because Now when I have the overflow, the weir, the bottom of the weir is maybe like half of my finger length below the bottom of this at the 90-degree elbow, and then this is actually above the weir. So this is the emergency, this is the standard. There's going to be a gate valve that essentially fine-tunes this, if anybody's familiar with the Herbie overflow. But I don't know how much space it needs between the bottom lip of this and the weir itself, how much space it needs for the water to flow properly. Because right now it's maybe about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, so it's not a whole lot, and I'm worried that that might not be enough. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. Is Petco running their $1 per gallon? I think that they are, actually, or it's coming up here very soon. I already bought all these tanks during the last $1 per gallon sale. Only one way to find out yet, to try and see. I think that's basically what I'm going to have to do. What I'm not going to do, though, is I'm not going to cement those elbows in place, just because I don't want to have to redo all that. So I'll just place them in there, see how they work. Fine tune. I think you're gonna need 1 inch to 1.5 inches, possibly. Yeah. We'll have to see, I guess. So, I mean, it's not a super big deal. I could just leave it open, I guess, and it would pour water through. But then it'll be tricky because I'll have to make sure that I fine tune the siphon to make sure that it siphons out correctly. Good thing is, if I silicone the weir in place, I could just remove it just by removing the silicone with a razor blade. So that's removable if I need to change positions. So, but this setup is the test to see how everything works. Once I know that all the pieces go together correctly and everything works the right way, then I can do everything else. You know, do the rest of the tank setups. But this tank setup is going to be the first one to set up, and this is going to allow me to start the plant pack monthly subscription box that I want to. These two tanks are going to basically be the holding tanks and the grow out tanks for those plants that are going to be in the initial two or three boxes. And then hopefully by the time that that first box come out, I have the next set of tanks set up, and then the next, and then the next. So I'm only setting up one setup at a time because there's so much involved here. And then I have to run the piping down from the top tank to the bottom tank and figure that out. I want to try and section off a corner piece of this, but I don't know how exactly I do that. I think I'm just going to need to buy a sheet of acrylic or some acrylic panels cut to a certain size and see. I'm actually going to write the guy that I bought the weir off of to see if he can custom cut me a panel through each of the bottom tanks, because what I want to do is I actually want to put lava rock in the corner, have that sectioned off with, I guess, is it called a baffle, just like a piece of acrylic, so the water flows down over the lava rock and comes out the bottom and flows into the rest of the tank. And that's ultimately my goal with it, to see if that'll work here. So the pump is nearly submerged, almost. So I'm definitely going to have to fine-tune this setup with the hose, because the hose isn't really that bendable, so I might have to come in here with the hairdryer like somebody was recommending earlier and blow dry the hose to get it to kind of lose its shape so I can mold it into the shape that I want. And then I also have to attach the suction cups to the pump to get them down there, so, or to get the pump to stay where I want it. The output, i.e. gravity, needs to be bigger than the input, i.e. the pump. As the pump is pressurized and gravity is not. Plumbing test, Jimmy. Yeah, plumbing test right now. I'm crossing my fingers the pump is powerful enough. Yeah, I hope so. If not, I bought this huge one, but it takes up so much real estate in the tank that I don't want to use it, because I want to have as much tank space as possible. But what I'm trying to do with this setup is minimize canister filters or any sort of filters that I have, as well as cutting back on CO2 dissolution systems. So, you know, it's less to maintain because it's one setup rather than multiple. Rather than having 8 individual isolated systems, this is only 4 isolated systems. So it makes it easier to maintain from that aspect. But I just have to see how it works. You know, make sure that this is really going to work the way I think it is. This is my first time doing anything like this, so it's going to be interesting to see how it works. Let's see, that is just about filled, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the power cord in the back here. Alright, and now you guys can see, right? Let's see, I'm going to turn this on. So let's see how this works. You ready? And we're golden. It's working. Now let's check the flow up here. So it's not, I mean, that's a steady thing. I'm gonna have to time this. I need a gallon jug. Do I have a gallon jug? Alright, who's ready to do some math? Can somebody stand by and do some math for me? Justin, check out LRB Aquatics videos. You don't need filters with that many plants. They will filter the tank alone. Okay, you guys ready to do some math? I'm going to fill up this measuring cup. This is 4 cups of water. So I'm going to need you to figure out what 4 cups of water translates to in gallons per hour, and we're going to figure out what the flow rate of this is right now, okay? So just get ready, and when I say go, time it for me. Kyle, you ready? Let's do this. Group project. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go. Stop. Alright. Okay, I'm going to disconnect the pump now because I actually don't want this to fill up that much and waste all this water. Okay. Let me go turn off the Python. Oops, sorry guys. Didn't mean to bump you. So 4 cups of water at however long that time frame was. So that was roughly about 20 seconds. There are 16 cups in a gallon, therefore 1 gallon per 80 seconds. 16 cups in a gallon and 21 seconds to fill. So that's, let's see, I don't have a calculator on me. So if it's 20 seconds, so let's just say it's 20 seconds to fill the 4 cups. 4 cups in a gallon, so that's gonna, or 16 cups are in a gallon, so that's gonna be 4, so that's gonna be 80 seconds per minute to do 1 gallon of water. So, what was I at? 80 seconds, so that's what? A minute 20 seconds. Times that by 60, I guess, right? Or divided by 60? I don't know. You guys are more probably well versed at this than I am. Just winging it. Somebody do the math. 60 times 80, there you go. Right? So I'm also going to do the addition of power heads. 480 gallons per hour. Is that where we're at? So that's not bad. That's a that's almost a 5, wait, it's a 5 times turnover? A little more than 5 times, it's about 6 times turnover per hour, because this is 80 gallons, so what was it, 480, so 480 then divided by 80 would be 5, 6, yeah, it'd be 6 times. That's actually pretty good. That's about what the Suns do on the 55 gallon. So that's a good flow rate. And that should theoretically be enough to keep the flow moving. And while I don't think I need filtration, let's back up to that mark. I don't think I need filtration. I still think a little lava rock will actually help, but we'll see. I'm gonna test this out without any sort of baffle with the lava rock and see how it works. And if I realize any sort of issues, then I'll install that. Well, I'm learning how to do a system, some system now. Well, yeah, this is actually, it's pretty good so far. Now, that's the easy part, honestly, because that was just connecting 2 hoses. Now the trick is connecting the plumbing. So, I'm going to show you guys kind of what I'm going to do. We're going to do the prototype here. I'll cut it out, and we'll be able to see how everything's going to look on there. Just grab all the rest of the pieces here. So I still left with a little bit of hose. So I think that was 10 feet of hose or 6 feet of hose, something like that, 8 feet of hose. So braided, and this is 1 inch outside diameter by 3/4 inside diameter, I think. So you said 1 gallon every 80 seconds? Yeah. Wait, what? That's not even 60 gallons per hour? It's not? Oh no, I guess it's not. That's right, we did our math wrong. Shoot. So then the question is, should I do a bigger pump then? That's now the question. So this is rated for 550. You know what? Should I try the bigger pump and we'll see how it works? I have a bigger pump. Where's Jake? Jake is probably sleeping at home. I worked him a little too hard. Let me grab the bigger pump and we'll see how that works. Yeah, that flow looked weak. It did look weak, now that you say it. I thought it was more than, I figured it would be more than that. So I have this bigger pump. Let's try this. This is probably going to be overkill. Thing's huge. Freaking huge. That's 45 an hour. So that's definitely not enough. 1 times turnover, or not even 1 times turnover. That's less than 1 times turnover. That's going to be a problem. I'm going to see which fitting is going to work on this guy. Now this is actually a legitimate pond pump. This is something that you would see for a pond. I thought it was smaller, but it is apparently bigger. So, and the flow rate on this, I actually forget what the flow rate is rated on this for. Yeah, that's a little too big. It has actually 3 different sizes here. This should fit, so I'm going to, I need to go get more hot water. Just a second. So let's take this guy apart now, and what is that? really see what this one does. I'm gonna probably have to try and find a model in between these two then, because this one I have a feeling is gonna be way too much, or it's just too big in general. I gotta deal with this thing on, hopefully it doesn't break. I don't even need the hot water for this. Let's see how this bad boy works. This thing is a freaking beast. Am I even trying this for anything? No. I'm gonna run some more water in this because I have a feeling this is gonna drain a real Alright, so we're going to do the same test here. Where's my measurement cup? Alright, so I'm going to plug this guy in. You guys standing by with the math? You ready to math and do things like that? Yeah, well, this pump I think is 1,000 gallons per hour, I think. But we're pushing it up and all that. It's probably going to be a little bit less than that. So let's see. I mean, look at that one. That one says 550 gallons per hour, but didn't even reach what I needed to. It's because of the height. All right, you guys ready? Let's plug this guy in. Holy shit! All right, that's a lot. All right, you guys ready? We're gonna do this quick. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, that was definitely fast. So that was like 3 seconds probably. What? Okay. All right. Okay, love you. Yeah, that was like 2 or 3 seconds. So. So what is that then? So that's 4 cups. That's 10 times faster than the other one. So that means it's 400 gallons per hour. So this may be the pump that we have to use. Because that is a, it's just so big. I didn't want to use something so big in this. Base it on 3 seconds. Yeah, so 3 seconds. Even if it's at 4 seconds, you're still talking about a gallon every 4/8. Let's see. So it'd be 4/8, 12, 16. So every 16 seconds would be 1 gallon of water. So yeah, 300 gallons per hour. I guess that's still kind of the low turnover. It's a low turnover, but there's no way that I can do any bigger than this size pump. I mean, this thing is literally huge. Look at that thing. Like, this is the first pump, and this is the second pump. Literally massive. Do you want it to go that fast? Well, I want it to be about 5 times per hour turnover, right? Just because that helps keep the water flowing. And that's key, is distribution is very key. So the first pump is way too slow. You're talking about 40 gallons an hour. That's literally cycling the bottom water up to the top water 1 time per hour. So all that CO2, the CO2 that's going to be injected through the pump needs to be flowing at a faster rate. It can't just sit there and have such a slow flow rate. That's not going to work. So it's literally probably going to have to be this huge 300 gallon per hour pump that we have going on here. That's really going to be the only way. I am going to have a spray bar here to dissipate the water throughout, so that's, you know, that's fine. The spray bar is going to run from one side of the tank to the other here and spray out across towards the overflows, so that way it gets a decent amount of flow. But your return flow will be determined by your overflow. Well, the overflow is going to be rated for 1,200 gallons per hour because of the emergency standpipe, or the emergency pipe, which is here, and then the regular flow pipe, which is here. I forget what 1-inch flow rate is, but these are 1-inch PVC pipes. They're not going to be reduced. They're going to go down to the sump directly from the back of the tank. So there's going to be literally nothing stopping them, other than on the regular one, I'm going to put a gate valve so I can control the flow to, if it's, I guess, too slow, which I don't think it would be. What's a 1-inch? What's a 1-inch PVC flow rate at? I want to say it's like 500 gallons or 600 gallons per hour. I wonder how much the sun suns are. I wonder if I was to do the same thing with the sun to see how much flow is coming out of them. I'd be really interested to see, because those are rated, I think they say up to, I don't know, I think they say they're rated for a 125 gallon tank, but I don't know what the actual flow rate is. I think it's like 300. I think it's probably right around 300 as well. .600 gallons per hour gravity fed. Yeah, so the one overflow is going to handle, the 1-inch overflow will handle this times 2, what I have coming out of here. So it's definitely more than enough. I just don't know. That's gravity flow rate. That will be not pressurized. Yeah, or pressured. Yeah. So it's just going to be gravity fed. There's no pressure behind it. So that's basically it with that. So yeah, so I think that we're gonna have to use the big pump, unfortunately. Seems like everything will work for you, just need an external pump. No, I'm not gonna do an external pump. I'm gonna use the internal. I don't wanna use anything external. I don't have enough room for any other external parts here. It literally has to be contained inside the aquarium. I mean, good thing it's on the bottom tank. Like I said, the bottom tanks are gonna be holding tanks, and some grow out tanks, so it's not, I mean, having the pump in the back here isn't going to make a huge difference to me. But I do have to, I'm going to have to come and heat up this pipe, or the thing, so I can move it. What's the flow rate with a 5-foot head? So it was about 300 gallons per hour. It basically filled a 4-cup thing in 2 to 4 seconds. Yeah, I have a turnover of 5 times per hour, which should be fine. That's basically what my filters are probably running on now, maybe anywhere between 4 and 6. So that's plenty. I just the key is to get all the CO2 and all the nutrients distributed evenly, and then as well as push into the bottom tank. Get a smaller pump with a better flow. They don't have to be that big. I couldn't find one that was reasonably priced that had a decent flow rate. I mean, maybe I'll try one more. I'll look on Amazon tonight and see if I can find one that has a similar flow rate to the bigger one, but more condensed into a smaller unit. The big one I was not expecting to be that big. I would really like something the size of the first one, but the size of the first one just doesn't have enough flow. Big pump with ball valve to control flow rate. The thing is I'm trying to save real estate in the bottom tank. I want it to be as compact as possible in the bottom tank. So that is the key here. I seen one, I'll send you the link. Alright, cool, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. But all in all, that's not that bad. I guess, I mean, worst case scenario, I just have to use the big pump. You know, it sucks, but gets the job done. You said that's 1,000 gallons per hour. I think it's 1,000 or 1,200 gallons per hour. It's where's the name of it? Is it on here? Oh no, it's 10,000 or no, 1,500 or no, Jesus, I can't read. 1,056 gallons per hour. So it's just slightly over 1,000 gallons per hour. That's what it's rated at. Rio pumps are pretty good. Have a good head height. Head is usually 2.5 feet on most pumps. Yeah, so this is approximately. Where's my measuring tape? Thought that was something that actually broke with this piece of PVC. So if you go down to the bottom tank, we're at about 4 feet here between the top of the tank and that. But keep in mind that has to go in and then back up. So it's really probably about 6 feet because the black tubing is probably about another 2 feet in length. So it has to be pushed a total of about 6 feet. So, I mean, I do like the black one. The reason why I like the black one because it actually has an internal sponge. So it's actually going to act as a filter all its own because it's sucking all that water out. And small, like, oh yeah, okay. But all in all, it's not it's doable. It's definitely doable, which is good. Algae gonna grow, sponge gonna get dirty, and low flow rate. Well, yeah, I'll have to clean the sponge, but if that's all that I have to clean, not that bad. My thing is I don't want it sucking up dead plant matter and pumping that into the top tank or any sort of Java moss or Rickia or anything like that or bladderwort if it just so happens to infect the bottom tank. I want the bottom tank to be isolated from the top tank but still share the same water. So head rating is about 2 feet with my math. Could you do one large pump and feed multiple tanks? That was an idea that was suggested, but I want to keep each thing separate and not have a huge sump running with everything. I feel like that wouldn't work. Or, I mean, I guess it would work, but yeah. He needs a huge sump if he does that, yeah. Might have to make a baffle around that pump. Yeah, it could possibly be the baffle, or do a baffle around that. I mean, it's fine. It'll be hidden behind plants. Like, it's not gonna stand out too much. I just have to get it so it stays in that corner. So I'm gonna have to heat up the flex, get it, you know, mold it to the right shape, and have it stick where I want it to. Because I don't actually think this has suction cups that come with it. No, it doesn't have suction cups, so literally the problem though is this tube is gonna have to flex like this to get this to stay in the corner. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to heat this up and get it to stay like this. Yeah, the problem right now is this top tube, or the bottom tube here is trying to bend, but it can't bend this way. So what I'm going to have to do is heat that one up and move that one out of the way so I can tilt this more, I think. Because I actually want it to sit like something like this, completely out of the way. I'm going to need to shake this and come out the back here and then recontrol it. I might need more tubing to do this. Because I do want it to be at least like somewhat decent looking, not like we had a bunch of tubes coming out of the tank. What's the dimensions on the Rio? Just type in Rio pump. There's several up to 700 gallons per hour. Was actually thinking the Rio 2500. It will be Rio has several pumps, and one of them will do the same flow rate, but Rio have very good head height, as I use them on some of my tanks and work well. Yeah, so the dimensions on this particular one, they don't say the dimensions here. But it's 9 inches long by 3.5 inches wide, and about 6.5 inches tall. So 9 inches long, 3.5 wide, and 7 inches tall. So the other one, Davey Bowie, is saying that the Rio 2500 is actually a lot smaller compared to this, which is good to know. I'm gonna have to definitely look at them. So I'm definitely gonna need something that would probably close to 1,000 gallons per hour then to compete with this one and that flow rate. Because 300 gallons, while that's like, it'll work, it's not ideal. You know, ideally you want more, but I don't want to take up so much room in the bottom tank to get that going. So I may have to go with something like this, unless the Rio one really does work. I'll order the Rio. I'll test it out and see which one. I mean, the small one obviously isn't going to work. Could always run 2 small ones, and that might be enough flow, but then I have to run the same setup twice, which was just wouldn't be any sense to do that. Yeah. Alright, so I want to, where's my measuring tape? Actually, I want to measure. So I need about 30 inches of pipe to do the Rio 3100 horsepower water pump for aquarium, 900 gallons. Okay, so that might work then. So what did I say, 30 inches? Okay, so that's the dimension. So it's 4 inches shorter, and looks relatively smaller compared to the one that I have, so that's good. Alright, so I'm gonna cut this at 32. Sorry. These things make cutting PVC a whole lot easier, especially if it's under 1.25 inches. Cutting PVC to me is a pain in the butt. Okay, so that's actually a little too long. Did is I actually got some unions so that way I can make adjustments, which if you're ever going to do a project like this, unions are good from what I've heard. And I'm also going to have it piped down over to it, so let's see. So I want one union down at the bottom, and that's going to allow me to swivel the output if I need to. And then I'm going to put another union at the top over here. And that's going to allow me to disconnect the pipe if I ever need to. And all I would have to do is just replace the, you know, if I ever need to remove that pipe for whatever reason and do something else, it'll still be able to be removed easily, I think. That'd make the most sense, something like that. Maybe I'll just put one at the bottom. Because now that I think about it, that's screwed in, so I could always just remove this. Oh no, but if I want to remove, no, I do have to, I'm going to put one at the top. Because if I don't put this at the top, then in order to get that piece of PVC completely out of there, either I have to cut it, or I have to unscrew the whole thing, and I can't unscrew it that way. I could maybe unscrew the bulkhead. Would that work? I guess I could unscrew the bulkhead. So I guess I don't need, I'll just do one union down, and then down at the bottom for allowing me to swivel the output. So basically that's going to look like this. I'm going to connect the outflow into this. Boom, there you go. What's up, college betas? Rio 32 HF Hyperflow water pump, 19-20 gallons per hour. Jesus. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna need 19-20 gallons per hour. Can somebody give it H2O a like? Thank you, Mateo. I appreciate it. Joey Jr. Definitely not Joey Jr. Joey actually knows what he's doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out as I go. Yeah. Fortunately, I've had zero experience with this kind of stuff, so it's kind of trial and error. Hence why I had to spend already $40 on 2 different pumps, or now probably more like 50 bucks on 2 different pumps to see which one will work. And neither one's really worked for my liking, so... Yeah, unions are a must, but I only really need one, and that's just for the bottom, so I could tweak the outflow where it goes in the tank if I wanted to. So the bottom, the way the drain is going to hit the bottom tank is there's going to be a filter sock down there. I'm going to figure out a way to rig a filter sock onto it. So when it pours in, so it's going to come and then it's going to probably tee again. Another elbow here. So, come on. So, cramp in my hand. That's no big deal. Go. Okay, there we go. That's straight. Just about. So yeah, so this is gonna sit on here like this. and then there's going to be a filter sock draped over this. So the water is going to, I mean, I may put an extension on this. Basically, I want this inside of the tank water, but I want the filter sock here to trap any debris that comes down so it doesn't get immediately pumped into this. So the filter socks will probably need changing every week, or I mean cleaning every week, just to you know, make sure the flow is running. But basically these will flow down, and even if the filter sock essentially gets clogged, it'll just pour over the filter sock. Worst case scenario, you know, it just calls for a water change or something in the tank. So that's really what I'm thinking right here. Yeah, so if I line this up. Joey Jr. in the making, definitely not. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. I use 45-degree elbows, not 90s. 90s cut down on airflow. Well, I do have 90-degree elbows, or 45-degree elbows. Do I have another one? So I got, so then you think I should do something like this? The flow comes out, and instead of the 90-degree like that. This then, and then this all. Like this. It's gonna come slightly over and down. Like that. So I guess we'll do 45-degree angles then, if you think those are better. Should the one coming off the overflow here, should that be a 45 or should that be a 90? I feel like that should be a 90, just so that way the, or maybe not. Should it be a 45? No, because then you would still have to 90 it out anyway, right? You'd have to go like this. You'd have to do two 45s together. Well, it creates a better, probably, raceway for the water to flow. I feel like that's defeats the purpose. Maybe I put a sweep elbow on the back side. I don't know. So I have this other. This is only for. Yeah, no, this isn't for this. That works pretty damn good. This is the 45, yeah, this is the one. So then I can have this. This. And then I could probably drape the thing on there. Hook it on there somehow. That's one. And then the other one will just kind of just do the same thing. Follow into it. Yes, 90 on the overflow. Okay. Alright, potential leak happening live. I'm there. Thanks, Kayla. So many people want to see it either leaking or cracking. We had 1,200 people watching on Facebook when I was drilling this top tank here. And they're all like, "You're doing it wrong." And meanwhile, in the title says, "Drilling tanks for the first time." And then in the very beginning of the video, I say, "This is my first time doing this, so I'm probably going to mess it up and crack the tank." Luckily, I didn't crack the tank, right? And I drilled it, but everybody said I was doing it wrong. So, I don't know. I still reached the same results that I wanted, and everything works well. So, I don't know. I think it was just people trolling. But in any case, I think we're pretty solid. That's a good setup right there, I think. So I got the 45. Let's just lower you guys so you can see. So it comes off the union at a 45 down into the tank, and then I have another 45 shooting the water that way towards the pump because I don't want it to just shoot off here because then it doesn't really dissipate. I guess it would either way because that pump's gonna suck up so much water, but yeah, that's. I wanted to just push that way, and that way I could have I could put a whatchamacallit, a power head that way and pump it all that way. So I don't think that's bad. So I need for the other overflow, I guess I would do the exact same setup just to make it look nice and all together neatly. So now here's my question to you guys, since I got some people in here that know a bit more about plumbing than I do. So, if I take the weir, right, and I put the weir on here, people were saying I need to leave an inch gap from the bottom of it to here. So let's say I leave the inch gap, right, and the water is allowed to flow up. It's still gonna reach the top of the emergency. So I don't know if I should just leave it where it's at, and then if it ever does clog, which I doubt it's gonna clog, but in case it does, this is gonna be higher. The emergency pipe is gonna be higher than the teeth of the weir. So basically, it's gonna take until this thing overflows, and then the emergency standpipe should suck everything down. I don't know if that's ideal. I mean, I guess you run the risk of possible fish getting sucked down there. or stuck in the pipe, I guess. I mean, there's really not going to be any, I don't think there will be any big fish in here, so it'll be mostly small stuff. Worst case scenario, it gets sucked down to the bottom tank. They're still in water. They'd be completely fine. You know, unless they get hit, you know, unless the overflow, they get messed up on the way down. Get trapped somehow, I guess. I don't know. Just don't joke around like Joey did, because then there will be a leak. Well, I'm not joking around. I mean, there's a possibility that any of this could leak. I'm surprised that those tubings went together so easily before. I thought there would at least be a problem there, but there wasn't. So it's pretty successful, I would say. But yeah, now the question is, how do I, where do I silicone this? Because even if, so now if I remove this 90 from in here, from the regular pipe, right? So I remove that and leave that overflow open. Then I put this on here, keeping the 90 degree of the emergency under the weir. Gives me about probably about an inch, right? I'd say about an inch difference in the standard overflow and the emergency, and then the weir drain. I just feel like I'm gonna really have to fine tune this and make sure that the water level is just above this, so it doesn't keep like messing up the siphon, I guess. I mean, can you do it without a 90 degree on there? Does anybody know? You're certainly doing better than me. I haven't tried plumbing. Granted, none of my tanks are more than 10 gallons. I mean, a lot of people were saying, why are you plumbing a 40-gallon tank? Like, it's so small, why would you do it? But it's to eliminate extra hardware and extra pieces that I don't need, and it allows me to contain 2 tanks in a similar system. So it gives me a lot more floor space, essentially, or a lot more stocking space than if I was to just do each tank individually, because then I have to have all the gear on the outside when I can right now put all the gear on the inside. So yeah, so Speakeasy says I need to put a ball valve or a gate valve. So that's the only piece that I'm missing is a gate valve. I bought a ball valve, but according to everything I read, it's more difficult to fine tune those because there is not that much of a space in between them. I think a gate valve would be ideal, so I'm actually going to order 4 of them for each setup, because I think I'm going to need them regardless. And then, so with the gate valve, I'd be able to fine tune it so the water level would probably sit about here, and then it would, you know, drain down. So yeah, gate valve is easier to tune. By the way, since it's gone to SP flex over hard piping, it's so nice. What? By the way, I since gone to SPA flex over hard plumbing. It's so nice. I don't know what SPA flex is, but yeah, I think that's I guess the only concern is if for whatever reason something gets over the weir here, if I do put fish or shrimp in here, I don't know. It won't work, I don't know. We're gonna have to fine tune it and play around with it a little bit more. But I think that's pretty good. I mean, so now I just need to find the right pump. Then I should probably silicone this in place. Now, when I silicone this in place, does anybody know, should I just do it like this and clamp it here? And clamp it so that way it's in the right position, and then just leave it? And also, can I test the flow without gluing the PVC, or do I have to glue the PVC first? Because I've never done anything like this. I don't know if you can actually glue the PVC together before, you know, or glue it together after you test it, so that way I make sure everything's good before I start, you know, putting it together. And also, does anybody else know, do you put a bead of silicone around the inside of the sealer, the gasket that's on the inside of the tank? Do you put a bead of silicone there? I saw some people do it, and then I saw some people not do it, so I don't know. You don't have to glue PVC to test the flow as long as it's snug fit and there's no pressure. It might leak a bit. Okay. So I could essentially fill this just to make sure that the flow is proper, because basically I want to fill up both tanks, and then I want to test the pump and see how the overflow works. You know, and then if that works the right way, then we'll go from there. You know, and then I'll glue everything and call it a day. And then I'll probably I think I'm gonna spray paint. I think I'm gonna spray paint the plumbing pipes just so that way they blend in, because like the white's just gonna stand out and look tacky. I want it to at least look somewhat decent. No, don't do it unless it's leaking. Okay, so don't put a bead of silicone behind the gasket. I saw some people do it for, I guess, extra precautions. I'm like, I don't know if that's necessary. So yeah, so I think, I mean, that's about it. I'm gonna look at those pumps, the Rio. See, I'll probably order whichever one I think will work well for this. Hopefully it's smaller than the big black one. And then I got 2 extra pond pumps that I'm not gonna use probably. I mean, it's good to have pond pumps in case you know, I ever decide to put a pond outside. I'll have it, but now if it was on the bottom of the glass, I would. I probably would. Oh, if it was here, yeah. So another thing too, I was gonna drill. I don't know if any of you guys were there when I was drilling this, but I was gonna drill on this side of the tank over here on the back for the output to go in there. It's a good thing I didn't, because what I don't want to do is, in case that pump ever fails or something, I don't want this water to back siphon into that. And if you drill the tank, it could actually back siphon quite a bit of water, depending on how low it is. Luckily, what I'm going to do here is the spray bar is going to be mounted like this, and literally the spray bar is going to sit just at the water line. So wherever I determine that water line is, I'm not going to do the spray bar until I see how full it's going to be, and then I'm going to make the spray bar sit exactly at the water's surface, so literally all it would back siphon is maybe a gallon or 2. And the bottom tank should be able to do that, because the bottom tank's not going to be completely full all the time. So worst case scenario, if power ever goes out, it's not going to back siphon a lot. And I know you can put a check valve. I'm not going to spend extra money on a check valve. I'm just going to make sure my output is literally at the top of the water line, and so it's just a little bit underneath it. Why can't you face the other 90 up also and not down? So I could face it up, but what you want to do, and what I've read, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they say you want at least an inch between your regular flow and your emergency, and that basically allows for fluctuations in water height and all that. So you know, the trick is I gotta keep this filled at the right height at all times, pretty much. Or, well, no, I guess not, because if I get the gate valve and I adjust that one, then it doesn't matter what the water line is in any tank. If there's a little bit of evaporation, it should still be fine. The problem here, though, with this tank is because now it's a little bit higher than the other tanks are. Like, the other tanks sit like a good 4 inches. I can't actually reach the bottom of the tank without standing on my tippy toes. Or actually, I can't reach the bottom of the tank without standing on my tippy toes, or at all. I need a ladder. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna build a little step here that's gonna be flush with the bottom tank that I could step up, and that should give me an extra like 3 or 4 inches, I think, to be able to reach. Like, I can't reach that. I'm gonna need to get the step ladder. More substrate. Yeah. I think the bottom of the weir's teeth should be even with the top of the emergency drain. So you think the bottom of the weir's teeth, so the bottom line here. Won't the sump level change the top tank? No, I don't think so, because it's gonna continuously be pumping water in here, and then it's a matter of how much the water flows in and how much water can flow out. So it doesn't matter. This could be half full, and as long as the pump has water, it can pump up. This will fill up until it reaches the up until it you know, gets siphoned out. And let's just say it siphons all the water out, and then there's no water in here. This will stop siphoning, and that'll stop pumping essentially. But I mean, that'll always be filled down there. There will always be water down in the bottom tank. But I mean, you're talking a lot of evaporation. We don't do water changes, but we do auto top-offs. But actually, a piece of this whole puzzle that's going to be here eventually is a automatic water change system. So eventually there's going to be a, you know, either a piece of PEX piping that's going to run along the top of the room all the way to the other side as well and hit the other tanks once those are set up. Because essentially what we're doing here is going to be a very similar setup on the other side. I don't know if I'm going to go through and build a whole nother rack like this, because this has been a nightmare. Although now I kind of understand what I'm doing with it, so I think it'd probably go faster the second time around. But still, it's just a whole lot of work, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that again. There will be a automatic water change system that's going to run around the whole length of the room, even with the show tanks and all that, and it's going to automatically drip down and into them. And then there's also going to be plumbing set around the whole room that's going to drain into a drain that I have over there. So can test, but it will leak, of course. Yeah, okay. You will always lose more water in the sump. The top tank will stay the same. Yeah. Yeah, so assuming that, you know, you don't mess with the gate valve, the top water line should always stay relatively the same as long as the pump is working. Once the pump fails, if it ever fails, the water can backflow into it, and that's why I don't want to drill, because if I drilled it and I put like a bulkhead on the other side here, let's just say, then the water line could drain to below that, and that's probably at least 8 to 10 gallons. That's about a fourth of the way down, maybe even closer to a third. So if you put a bulkhead here, like I would have to, you're talking about 3/4 of the way drained. And essentially, the bottom tank is not going to be all the way filled, because the way I'm going to fill it is it's going to be enough to keep this at a constant water line. So if this was ever to drain a little bit, you know, it only drain maybe 2 or 3 gallons. So I'm going to leave, you know, this much space on the bottom tank, and that will allow it to break the siphon, and only the water will be able to pour down and not be enough to overflow it on the floor. So I don't think I need to put any sort of other check valve systems or anything else in place. I think it should be fine. Yeah, I want to get the step ladder. So if I put this, so the step would be slightly lower than this, but this allows me, I can do the whole thing. I'm not hitting the ceiling, which is good. But it does suck for having to go in and out of tanks, but I did want enough headspace in here so I could lean down and not have to worry about it. Oh, that's pretty freaking cool looking up from the bottom of a tank. It's like something that you would see at the aquarium. So, yeah. I think that's really about it for tonight. I mean, I'm not gonna run the water to see the overflow just yet, because it makes no sense. I don't have the gate valve that I need to double check the flow. So I'm gonna wait till I get the gate valve. So maybe Wednesday we'll actually have this thing back up and running, and I'll stream that, and maybe I'll have the new pump by then, and we can test that all out. What's up, Boston? Do you know when you will get your next shipment of plants in, and are you going to have any more giant hair grass soon? Yeah, so I'm going to place another order tomorrow for, I'll have all the shipment, I'll have all the plants in by Friday, maybe even Thursday, probably Thursday, or I might even update the inventory early on like Wednesday, and then that will, that'll be, you know, this week's order. Because I'm out of plants. Like, I'm looking at the tanks and they're kind of bare. I still have some like banana plants and some aquarium lilies and stuff like that. So the water level on the top tank will be set by the weir. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, true. The weir will allow the flow. Are you going to have a valve to send to the drain for large water changes? So I was considering putting a drain valve at the bottom of the tanks. It's still a possibility, I could still do it. I just haven't decided if I want to. And basically what I would do then is I would just do a bulkhead. I could even do a 3/4 one. I don't necessarily have to do 1 inch because this is just to drain it. But essentially I could do that, right? Drill it and then have it line up with this, with the existing pipe here. And then actually no, it wouldn't be in this one. It would have to be beneath this one. So it would be here. Under the emergency one, and then we tap into the emergency line, and then the emergency line would eventually flow into the automatic water change system, because that's essentially what's gonna happen is the way I'm planning on it is when I have the water change system implemented each week, it'll automatically turn on. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna close the it's going to close the valve here. There's going to be an electronic solenoid on each overflow pipe, or at least the regular overflow pipe, so it'll electronically close, and it'll allow the water to stop draining into the bottom tank and into the main drain that's going to be there. And so what's going to happen is the pumps are going to shut off because all the pumps will be on the timer opposite to when the water change is happening. So the pumps will stop, the water will drain into here. As the water pours into here, it's going to overflow and out, and that'll change all 40 gallons out of this one tank, or at least that's what I'm going to try and do, so that way it overflows all 40 gallons. And then once that time lapse, so let's just say it's 4 hours that the pump isn't working, the electronic solenoid is going to open back up. The water is going to be able to flow into the bottom tank, and the pump will kick back on and circulate the water that way. How are you going to control the gargling noise? I don't know yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to have to run this and test it. I thought with the what is it called? Herbie overflow. I thought that you really don't get gurgling noise because all the water, like this is going to be at a full siphon and the water line is going to be on top of this. So now the this should be almost level. It might be slightly off. Hold on. So let's see, because I did have this shimmed before, but the shims got kicked out, it looks, so it is slightly off level. Needs to go up a little bit on the front side. That side's level, this side isn't, so this I just need to shim again. Or push the shims back under a little bit. Then we'll check out corner to corner here. Yeah, so once the site gets raised up over here, it should be fine. It's literally just this corner. The shims got moved out when I was moving around the rack. So yeah, I'll fix the yeah, good eye. Yeah, I figured that though, because the shims were out. I actually was looking at that before. I'm like, why are the shims out? I thought the shims were supposed to be under there. I've done so many changes in the last couple of days to everything, so I'm just like, I don't remember what it was like. But yeah, so now I need to get, I actually need to go and get 2 more 45-degree angles, because I only got 2. I didn't think I was going to use them, but I got them anyway. So I need 2 45-degree angles. I have well more than enough 90s. I could actually probably return some 90s, because I don't think I'm going to use this many. That's about it. Oh, I want to ask you guys, since some of you guys are plumbing experts here, seems like, the Street 90, right? This is a bit smaller and it has threads in here. Do you think the threads are going to be a problem? Like, is this how they always are, or is there a Street 90 without threads on the inside? Because I feel like there's probably one without threads and I just don't have it. And I can't take these apart. There we go. I feel like I'm just worried about like stuff getting stuck on the threads, because I'm using one of them, I think, right? Yeah, I'm using one here to let the water go down. I don't know. I feel like it might be an issue. There should be a 90 with no threads, and if you can't find one, take a Dremel or file it down to smooth them down. Okay, so you think I should smooth this out? They have no thread streets. Okay, so I couldn't find the no thread streets, so I'll check when I go there to get the other 45-degree angles that I need for the other pipe, because I'm gonna need that anyway. I'll get it. So yeah, so then I guess I'm just gonna have to I'll construct the second emergency pipe, or the other pipe. I'll spray paint everything black. I think we'll be good to go. I'll seal everything up. Yeah, and if you can't find one, it would be simple just to smooth them down. Okay, yeah, I have a Dremel, so I could just take a Dremel to the inside and smooth it down. Just worried, you know, like something might get caught there, and then it's like that it overflows because something got caught. I mean, I guess I could just use regular 90-degree elbows, but I didn't really want to do that. It's probably easier though in the long run. So yeah, I'll take a look at those pumps, and I'm gonna get the hairdryer. I'm gonna have to get the hairdryer and test to see if I can bend that pipe the right way, or the tubing the right way. I think you will need a primer for the PVC if you plan on painting them. Will you? I thought you could just spray paint PVC. Valleyfish says, H2O, looks like you're doing a great job. Can't wait to see them running. Thank you. Joey's in here. Send nudes with a $20 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate it. I'm actually getting paid by YouTube now. It took what? How long have I had the YouTube channel going? 7 months, I think. I started it back in January or something like that, or no. Whatever, however long it's been. I never put in my payment information, and I was like, why am I not getting any money? Like on your dashboard, it shows like, you know, and it's nothing much. It's a couple dollars, but I'm like, well, I want those dollars. That helps fund this stuff. So, yeah. And now I finally got the first payment. I'm like, oh, you know, 6 months saved up. It's like nothing, but still. Won't last nearly as long. Okay, so you think I should prime the just put a screen in the 90? Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'll just Dremel it down, if anything, or I'll find streets without it. Could have drilled return. You just use lock line and put it near the top of the water. and it won't drain very much in case of a power outage. That's true. You could use Lockline. I just I didn't want to have to order more pieces. I feel like just making my own spray bar sitting above the water line's fine. Just hit it with a light sandpaper. That might work too. I have earned a couple cents since about 17. Oh, I think about 17 since February. Me too. YouTube revenue, yes. Joey. Well, Joey's definitely pulling it in with his #1 trending video right now. Is it still #1? I haven't checked on it since I've been live streaming. But that's pretty cool that you got a #1 trending video of, you know, really nothing much. But you did edit that very nicely. I have to say, that whole part where the arowana jumped, you did that. That was mint. Very minty fresh. Nice. Good stuff. I wonder how long it takes for the videos to refresh. Or like the trending list to refresh. That was cool as shit though, how he jumped like literally, it was through your arms, I guess, right? It looked like, I don't know, it was kind of hard to track, but it looked like it was through your arms, but that was cool as shit. That's crazy though, how much power, because that water was so shallow, how much power the arowana has to just jump, like even in that shallow water, like without a running start, he was just like it was cool. Very neat indeed. Yeah, so I gotta level this, but I think it'll be alright. Damn. So it's almost together, guys. We're getting there. Yeah, good thing you double bagged it, considering you broke the first one. When 2/3 of the body is a tail, it generates a lot of power. That is true. Which is why I don't like moving the arowana in bags. Yeah. I guess that would be, that was risky. I thought you were going to do it in like a net or a tub. I'm surprised you use bags. That never even crossed my mind. Could you imagine it hitting the tank and breaking it? Yeah, that would have been crazy. Why is it lagging? It looks like the video's lagging. I don't know where it would go. I'm not the actual king of DIY. I just use this name. My real name is Josh. Josh from State Farm. I'm gonna have to touch some of this paint back up because it wound up getting a little dirty. Which isn't anything much. I'll just go over with a little paintbrush. Do a build with DIFFUSER. Don't know who DIFFUSER is. Me either. Jake, not Josh. Yeah. Is the video lagging for you guys? Because it's like on my camera, it's like a little, I don't know, it's a little choppy. I guess it kind of stopped now. I don't know. That was weird. So I'm just glad that that works, and then the overflow shouldn't be that bad because that's just PVC. There's really, the only working part in that is the gate valve, so I think it should work. He's a guy from NY, does a lot of nice builds and stuff he finds on the street. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know, it's lagging on my end, but it could just be the camera on my end. So, yeah. Joey, pretty soon the fan people in the chat room are gonna start throwing their underwear at you. So where do you go from here? So from here, what's left to get these two tanks online? I still have to order a heater, although I don't need it just yet. The temperature in the room, ambient, like I don't have a heater in the goldfish tank, and his tank has been roughly at about 75 degrees, and that's just the ambient temperature, so it's fine. So I don't need a heater in here just yet. I can wait till this winter to get that, or the fall. I do need to get substrate for the top tank. The bottom tank, I don't know if it needs substrate yet. I haven't decided. So I need to order that. I need to order lights for both tanks. I need to figure out what pump I'm going to use. So I'm going to order that Rio one. I'll take a look at it and see how it performs. Hopefully that works versus these other two that I've already spent, you know, $50 on. And then just gotta glue and paint the PVC. I guess I'll put a primer on it, like people are saying. And did making a pond ever occur to you since you bought the house? So yeah, so a pond is something that I'd like to do. I actually was thinking about possibly even having everything on a continuous water drip and overflowing into the pond, and then using that as my pond and hydroponics and all that. But I don't know, probably too complicated to do that, but I was considering doing a pond. Is the king of DIY going to use your plants in his 2000? No, he's I believe he's getting them locally from his fish store, which is fine. You know, it's tricky shipping to Canada regardless, and I haven't really even done it before, so it'd be really tricky to get them there. I could try and smuggle them if he wants me to, you know, keister them, bring them over there. I see how it is. Jake is overwatching Kevin's hardscape instead of supporting you. That's fine. Actually, a matter of fact, I will tell you guys, after this live stream ends, you should go check out Kevin from Brooklyn Hardscapes live stream. If he's still live streaming, he's scaping a tank. He's very talented. So if you want to go see that, you should definitely check it out. Heater in each tank running the same lights as the others. So no, there's only going to be one heater in one tank, and it's going to be the bottom tank. Think of the bottom tank essentially as a sump, except it's going to also be a grow tank or a holding tank for plants. And essentially the bottom tank, I'm going to get a 2000 watt heater, or not 2000 watt, 200 watt heater, and that will cover both tanks as far as heating it in the winter, which, you know, I'm going to keep it, the temperature of the tanks I'm trying to keep at about 73 degrees, and that's ideal for CO2 dissolvation. Depending on what kind of fish I decide to put in the top tank. Eventually there will be fish on the top tank. There might even be fish on the bottom tank. I haven't decided yet. If I do want to do fish on the bottom tank, but we'll see. And then so yeah, so I only need the one heater, and that should be good. Goldfish pond, yeah, I was thinking goldfish pond. It would be cool. I've already said I'll smuggle them in. That's true, Brad. It's a refugium, yeah. I guess you could call it a refugium in a way. I guess that's essentially what it is. You know, this is just like I calculated it, and then I could have built something similar to what Joey did with the concrete, the 2,000 gallon. If I would have taken up the middle of this room, I could have fit about a 1,600 square pond inside the basement. But I like being able to look at the plants and being able to take photos and videos of all that. The top-down view wouldn't really be that nice. So I think this gives me a lot of inventory availability and room, and it allows me to keep things looking at least somewhat nice. Like this bottom one, I have to figure out with the pump and all that, but hopefully, you know, I can bend the tubing the right way and get that. If not, I might just hard pipe it out. I might just do a small connection into hard pipe and then hard pipe it into the inline reactor and then go from there. That's always an option too. Ethan, I will not say hi from Ethan. How about that? What time is it? We've been at this 2 hours, so that means it is probably 11 o'clock. Yeah. Someday I want to do a screened-in porch with a built-in pond. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so like my initial idea too, if I was to do one center pond type idea for growing plants, was to build it so it's about waist high, and then on top of that have a table that can literally be like pulled off of it. I thought it would be cool. Joey's tank is badass, just not for plant growing, for a business. Well, see, if I was to do something like that with a pond, I would do it shallow. I would do it about this deep, but it would be a huge it'd be one long thing. It would it would have been good because it would have saved me on components. So it would only essentially be 1 or 2 pumps, a couple power heads, and that's it. That would just to circulate the water. I would then need a centralized sump, most likely, to be able to filter all that water, because there would be a huge amount of water flowing through there. Or I could even do it without. It depends on the stocking. But I do want to eventually, now that I have these other tanks with fish in it, I would like to see fish in all the other tanks. It does look nice, even just community fish, just stuff so you have more going on in the tank than just growing plants. You know, get different species. I want to get Congo tetras in one of the tanks, but I also want to have shrimp, and I feel like they might eat the shrimp, so. But that would all come in time. Right now, getting this online is crucial for the plant pack launch. I can't launch the plant pack until these are set up and done. So once the setup is good, we're going to launch that. And then hopefully I want to try and get 2 tanks set up every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, I want a new rack online. So for the next 6 weeks, essentially, after this one is set up, the next 6 weeks, we'll have the additional ones go online, and then we'll be good to go. After that, then I have to start looking at the other side of the room, because I'm going to imitate this same setup over there. But I have to get my electrical panel moved, and that's going to cost a good chunk of change. So I have to wait till I have that to get that moved to be able to do that on the other side of the room. My neighbor has a little stream with running water in it, so I went to the lake that was infested with goldfish, caught some, and then put them in. That was 2 months ago, and they're doing good. That's cool. Can't wait for plant pack. Yeah, Jordan, it's gonna be cool. Hopefully, you know, hopefully this only takes me another week or so to get these 2 tanks going, and then I can announce the final stuff. The pricing is up, though. You guys can check out the website to see what kind of pricing, if you want to do the 1 month, the 3 month, the 6 month, or the 12 month. The pricing is up. Those are the final prices. There's some other details that haven't been officially announced yet, but there's going to be a certain percentage discount off for those people that sign up off the rest of the site, so you'll be able to sign in and automatically have prices adjusted to that discount, and some other things. There's actually one thing I will tell you, because there's only a couple of people in here, probably people aren't going to watch the very end because we're going to wrap up here very shortly, but what I'm going to do is each month, when a box launches or goes out, so we're going to pack them on the 2nd Sunday of every month, and that's when they're going to be shipped out, and I'll put on the exact details, but the 2nd Sunday of each month is when they're going to go out. And what I'm going to do each Monday following when they're shipped out is I'm going to do a private live stream for just the people that are part of the plant pack family, I guess. It's going to be a dedicated live stream just to those people. It's going to be about an hour long each month, and I'm going to do an unboxing. So I'm going to have my own box here. I'm going to open it up, show everybody what it is, but it's only going to be specific to the people that are members of the plant pack, and that way they can ask questions, they can see what it is, see what's in there, and that's going to be exclusive to them. And then that live stream will probably air a couple days later on like the YouTube channel and the Facebook channel, but that's just specifically for the people that support it. You get a private live stream, an hour, so it'll probably be like 20 minutes. I'll unbox everything, show you what each thing is, discuss it a little bit, and then you get like 40 minutes to a half hour worth of questions, Q&A, or just hanging out, and that's like just a nice little perk that I wanted to give to people. That'd be cool. A pond kills surface area since he is double stacking tanks. He is basically doubling the surface area to grow tanks. Yeah, so that's essentially what I came up with. I could have either done one big pond or did the double racks. I chose to do the double racks, one, because it's a lot easier to do this than building a huge pond and then building a work area on top of it, because essentially I can have my work area right in the middle here. Even once I put the other tanks over there, I still have enough room to have a work area here in the middle. And the washer and dryer over here being moved out of here actually this week. Those are finally going to get hooked up in the back room. And the shipping station is going to be built on that wall there. So that's going to be a larger shipping station. Right now we only have maybe about a 4-foot wide thing. That's probably about six feet or so, maybe bigger than that. So the shipping station is going to get bigger. We're going to have two thing, so both, you know, Jake and Margaret, or me and Jake, or whoever else may be working here, can pack orders at the same time. We're still going to have the packing station here, but I'm going to build a bigger table. I want to build a table that's higher up, so that way it's easier to work, more storage space underneath. I was even thinking about, since if I build a higher table, right, so it'll sit, you know, about countertop length, underneath that I could essentially do a small platform with a shallow tank, maybe not a 40-gallon, but maybe a 30-gallon, and that would be for growing floating plants. And that'll just be dedicated to specific floating plants that need that. So like dwarf water lettuce, because right now there's like 40 people waiting for it. I'd have that. So would there be an option to skip a month if we couldn't handle the plants when the box is ready to be shipped? Yeah. So the cool thing about it, and the way that I did this plugin for the website, because there's a couple different plugins that allow you to do monthly subscription boxes, but this one has a skip feature, which was like ideal, because when you're dealing with live goods, this is tricky. Like this is, some people have done some similar stuff, but nothing to this degree. Like this is something that's going to be very very thought out and very packaged well, and I wanted to go over smoothly. And there has to be an option for somebody to say, I don't want this box this month, or can you hold it or skip it, or whatever the case is. And let's just say it blows up and we have 500 people, 1,000 people subscribe to it. And let's just say 100 people a month maybe not want the box. That's 100 people that I'd have to go in and manually edit and change stuff around. So that would be nearly impossible to maintain from a practicality standpoint. So in the interface, when you sign in through your memberships, you'll actually be able to see all this, the next 6 months worth of boxes. And I'm gonna usually have like some sort of theme listed on the plant pack page, so you know kind of what to expect. Like the first month is probably gonna be crypts, so like you get a variety of crypts. You'll get, you know, 3 to 5 different species of crypts, and you'll get a couple of each plant, not just one. So you'll get maybe 3 or 4 of each one. So say you don't want crypts, right, but you want to stay subscribed to it, you could just hit skip in the control panel that you guys will have, and that'll allow you to, you know, just completely be removed off that mailing. So that's pretty much, you know, one of the key features is to be able to skip boxes and not be charged for it, and whatever else. And like if you buy, let's just say you buy 6 months in advance, if you choose to skip one, you'll still get 6 boxes. It just, you won't get that one. So yeah, so you know, just lots of good things. I want to make sure that it makes sense to the end user and make it easy on my part. And this is kind of my version of, you know, a lot of people, they do Patreons and they do GoFundMes and stuff like that. I don't like asking for money for free. So rather than asking money for free, I'm asking money for a product in a way. Like, you know, it's a way of funding what I need to do, because this, setting up these racks, is a lot of money, right? This is about $5,000 to set up all these racks with all the equipment, the lights, the substrate, stocking the plant. That's not even including stocking the tanks. It's going to be $3,000 probably to stock these with plants, just, you know, off the get-go. So you're talking close to $10,000 to be able to do all this. And the plant pack was my idea of, you know what, it allows me to get some cash flow up front, or at least a standard every month, like I know I have an X amount of dollars, and then it allows me to put those dollars directly to getting these set up, because it increases the productivity. Because if I have 50 people subscribed to Plant Pack, I know that that second week of every month we have 50 orders, we can bang them all out and quickly get it done. So yeah, that's your only concern about skipping. Yeah, so that was one of my major concerns. And Corey from Aquarium Co-op actually brought it up. He's like, what if you know, somebody's not in town or wants to skip it? And I'm like, that's very true. That is something that I need to make sure is incorporated. So luckily the plugin I found did have that feature, and that was like, that sealed it, because I was playing around with 2 different ones, and the other one didn't have that, where it could easily be skipped by the user, because it's not my, like, it's your job to tell me, you know, that you don't want it, and you could do it right through the interface. So it makes it ideal for that. Will the membership give us discounts on non-plant packages? Like if I just wanted to buy 1 or 2 plants from the website or dry goods or something like that. Yeah, so that's another big thing, and this is my thing about bringing value to you. So the plant packs, you're gonna get plants at somewhat of a discount. So it's going to be anywhere between, say, 5 to 25% off what the price of the plant would normally cost in the plant pack. So the price point for a 1 month subscription is $30. So my goal is to provide, with shipping included, $35 to $45 worth of product. That's including shipping. So shipping is roughly about anywhere between $7 to $8. So you have to factor that in. So I'm trying to give you a good chunk of plants for that. And it may even be able to be even more than that in the future if we have, the more people we have sign up, the more it gives me buying power with the nurseries and all that for the plants that I want to include, other than if it's plants that I'm growing here. So if it's something, you know, if let's just say 1 month I want to include water wisteria because I have a ton of it, you know, I already have that in there, so it allows me, you know, to do that. So the membership to the plant pack is also going to give you percentages off everything else on the website. Right now it looks like everything else. There might be some stipulations like rocks and hardscapes might be hard to give that additional discount, but I'll have to check that. And hold on 1 second. What's this guy do? The Siamese algae eater was just chilling at the top, and I'm like, is he dead? He looked like he was dead. No, but he's good. All right. So the membership will give you, it's going to be an automatic discount too. So this is the thing, like, you'll be able to use discount codes with this discount. It won't, because on the website you can only do 1 discount code. So the way it's going to work is when you log into your account, you'll automatically see the discount on the prices of the plants. So something that somebody might normally see for $5, or if you're not logged in, you'll see for $5. When you refresh and you log in, it may be $4 or whatever the discount turns out to be. And I may change them monthly. So like maybe, you know, in the month of December, I might give you extra percentages off just because like it's Christmas and all that. So that'll be something exclusive also to the memberships of the plant pack, and that allows me to increase value even more. So you know, it's like kind of like a Costco membership, but you're getting stuff anyway, like in return. It's not just me saying give me money kind of thing, because I hate taking money from people. But if I could provide somebody with a service or a product that outweighs what they're spending but allows me to also fund this, it kind of works out. So, you know, and so far we have about, I would say about 100, close to 100 people interested in plant pack according to the website notify me things where you can plug in your email address in it. So you know, even if we get 40 people, that's still a lot of people just to start, and that's considering that it's a live goods package. It's you know, in the aquarium hobby where, while it is, you know, aquarium hobby is huge, but you know, it's not makeup or dog toys like BarkBox and all those other things are. So 40 people would be successful at launch, I would think. Or can I just pay for membership for like a year without plant packages? So I was thinking about doing that. If enough people tell me that they would like to just pay for a discount and all that, and the exclusive to the other stuff, I could possibly do that. I might just do, you know, maybe plant pack, you know, membership without the box. I don't know. Or maybe like we'll just call it the H2O Army membership maybe. And people could do that. I really hope the plant pack works out well for you. I like the idea of it. Thank you, Aquatussi. I appreciate it. I want a membership card. That would be sweet. That would be kind of cool. But every, you know, every order is going to be, or every plant box is going to be pretty cool, I think. I'm going to try, after the first couple months, if it's going well, then it'll allow me to do custom boxes, you know, that are not just regular USPS boxes and other stuff like that. It'll allow me to really do some nice things with it. I only have so much room and have to be picky with what I get. Yeah, that's completely understandable. But, I mean, what I'm going to try and do is give not huge plants, like, you know, smaller size plants, You'll get a couple of them, and you could try them out. Or you know, if you're part of like a local hobby club thing, or like, you know, you might be able to bring them down to your local fish store, maybe trade them in and stuff like that. So just, you know, or sell them online if you don't want them. I'm sure, you know, somebody will buy some of the plants, you know, if you didn't want them or something like that. So I think there's numerous ways you could do it if you don't have the most room. Like, it's not ideal for somebody that has like a 10-gallon tank, obviously, because you're gonna get tons of plants. Probably within like 4 or 5 months you'll be completely stocked full of plants. But if you have a couple tanks and all that, it'll be cool. Alright, so I'm gonna give it about 5 more minutes, guys. I'm gonna head out of here because I gotta get up early, and this place is a complete mess right now. I'm just gonna leave it though. Actually should move this out of the way. Yeah, so the things that I have to still do, I have to order the backgrounds for the tank. I gotta order the pump, the gravel. I'm gonna write to a couple of these manufacturers and see if they'll give me a discount, being that I'm gonna be setting up racks, to see if they'd give me any sort of leeway on that, because it's a lot of money to set these things up. Speakeasy says, hey, just wanted to thank you for what you're doing and everything. Your ideas are going to do better than you think. You're going to blow up with selling plants. Hopefully more people will get into the hobby. Yeah, I think the freshwater community is growing rapidly, like even faster than it's done before. I mean, especially look at what Joey's doing. You know, Joey's YouTube video hit #1 on trending on a weekend that followed Spider-Man being released. A couple other like major things happening. So like, if an aquarium video can get on the #1 trending of YouTube, and it's just him moving fish, that just brings a whole another side to awareness. That also shows that the hobby is growing in general, and more people are becoming interested, and that you know, that just leads to bigger and better things. The more people that are in the hobby, the more that this can grow, and you know, so on and so forth. So, you know, it's growing. You know, I'm glad I got into it while I did, because if I didn't, you know, I'm only about 3 years into the aquarium hobby, so if I wouldn't have started 3 years ago, just getting into it now, this probably would have never happened, because in 3 years from now, you know, there will probably be so many vendors for plants, because I see new ones popping up every day and stuff. You know, and I haven't been doing it that long, not like some other sellers are doing it. Have been doing it for years, so you know, I'm still a newbie on the street, but I think that I'm building a certain kind of reputation and certain type of I don't know, culture around it, you know, because there's the people that just want to sell things, and there's the people that actually want to help people and provide value, and that's why I do these live streams, you know, live streams and whatever else I can do. And we may be back to daily trim-ish type videos. I'm thinking I want to roll out maybe like 1 to 3 videos a week on like just a standard format. But my other iPhone broke, the one that I use for recording. Note to self, don't take it in the swimming pool. Fine to put in the tanks, but swimming pool doesn't work too well. So I have to get a new iPhone, which I'm looking at buying. Hopefully this week I can find one. Keep up the good work. Great work, bro. Or keep up the great work, bro. Thank you, Sergeant Tank. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate it. Now I'll actually see the super chats coming into my bank account, so that works. For the last 6 months or whatever it's been, I haven't seen any money from YouTube. I'm just like, where's all this money that it shows on this? It's not even a whole lot, but you know, it's like, well, you know, those that want to help people with their business or their channel are usually the ones who succeed. Yeah. See, it's all about providing content and value for the other person, right? Especially when you're trying to sell a product. You know, I very rarely ask for people to buy things. I do let you guys know, like, when we have specials or whatnot, but I'm like, not like, you need to buy this, like, buy this, buy this, buy this, because who wants to watch that, you know? But, like, if I could help somebody fix their tank, and I've helped tons of people thus far fix problems with their tank, troubleshoot algae, plant problems that they're having, not so much fish problems, because I'm not so versed in fish. There's a lot more qualified people for that, but plants I know. Plants I definitely know. And at least at the beginner to intermediate section, on a whole expert level, there's way more qualified people, but those people don't want to put out their knowledge. You know, they want to keep that to themselves. I don't know why. You know, some experts in the hobby do share, but they do it in forums that are going extinct, like forums and blog posts and stuff like that. Video, Facebook, Instagram, those are the new forums, the new blogs, that kind of stuff. So you know, sharing knowledge and helping people and bringing more value to other people will make them almost feel obligated to support you. In a sense, it's you know, it's kind of weird saying that, but it is true. Like, if there's somebody, you know, it could be anybody. If you have your car and it's you know, and you have a problem with your car, you bring it to a mechanic, and the mechanic is just like trying to sell you everything, but then you go to a guy that actually tells you, listen, this is the cheap fix, here you go, and it's gonna work, and then it works. You're more likely to keep going back to that one mechanic than the guy that just wanted to sell you things. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. You know, I do all this to try and help provide value, and hopefully in return, you guys will support the business. But I think that's where I'm gonna end this, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I may live stream doing more stuff tomorrow. I work in the feature film visual effects, and in that line of work, if you don't share your knowledge, then you stagnate. Yep. Great stream. Can't wait to watch the next one. Go get some sleep. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I appreciate it. So we may live stream tomorrow, depending on what I'm doing here. I do want to try and get more of this done. I do have several other things to do. I still have to set up Lucky's 40-gallon tank. That's still not done. I need to run an outlet over there to get power, and then once I got power over there, I can change him over to that. So that may be on a live stream tomorrow once I set up the power and all that. But yeah, so I will I'll see you guys, if anything, Wednesday, and I hope you have a good rest of your week until I see you. So I'll see you guys later. Oh, before I go, because I almost forgot to mention, if you guys can order shirts. I don't know if anybody knew about the Got Plant shirt and the Beta shirts. If you go to the website and go to swag, you can pick up shirts. And the only reason why I say that is because some shirts haven't met the medium yet, or minimum yet, for them to actually ship. So if you want to pick up a shirt, help support the channel a little bit. It's done through Teespring. I can't. I'm not bringing in shirts yet because it would be a huge money sink for me at this point, I think. I'm not at that level where I'm selling hundreds of shirts a week, so you know, this is their opportunity to get it. It helps support me a little bit, and it gets you products that you might want, like my Got Plant shirt or the Beta shirt. And yeah, that's about it, guys. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Later.